I think grinding ranked in an online game is a waste of time. The same way I think any other hobby is a waste of time. Running, rock climbing, cooking, playing sports are all wastes of time. We do these things because they help us fill out the hours in a day and that they give us a feeling of enjoyment. To roughly quote one of my college professors, our lives as human beings are ultimately temporary. We won't live forever, after all, until we pass on. We have nothing but time. And thus, much of this time is meant to be wasted. And it is how you choose to waste your time that ultimately defines who you are. Before we get on with the rest of the video, my name is Ace. I last ranked Archon in Dota and Gold in League, and I'm going to share why, despite making about a dozen videos comparing both of these games, I don't touch ranked in either of them. Regular viewers of this channel would know that I'm an old school Dota player. To illustrate how old school I am, I played Dota 1. There was no Shadow Blade, only Lothar's Edge. No Daedalus, only Bariza. Bounty Hunter was Gondar, Spirit Breaker was Bara, and there was no Dota 2 subreddit. There was only Play Dota forums. To start playing Dota 2, I had to trade my in-game items in Team Fortress 2 for a Dota 2 key on Steam because the game was still in beta. And I did this back in 2012. To illustrate the state of the game back then, the devs weren't even finished porting the Dota 1 heroes. The newest heroes were Nyx Assassin, who used to be Nerubian Assassin, and Caudle of the Light. Now, back then, I had no concept of rank in an online game. In Dota 1, you kinda just had to coin flip lobbies and hope that your teammates knew what to build and what they were doing. But it was still fun, especially if you played with friends. And I also played Valve's other game, Team Fortress 2, a class-based first-person shooter that also didn't have a rank system at the time, and I didn't care. I was perfectly content with clicking heads as sniper, stabbing backs as spy, dropping Ubers as medics, and running around as scout. I spent hundreds of hours in that game, not because I was trying to reach the next rank division, but because it was so much fun. Then, I forget the year, but the Dota 2 player base grew large enough to introduce a ranked system to the game. I calibrated where I believe most people did, at about 3,200. Then I trained my darn hardest to grow my MMR from there. I spent pretty much my entire high school life treating Dota as a part-time job, grinding out matches whenever I had the free time. And I was also introduced to League when my friends got into the game and got me into it as well at about 2015. I didn't reach a lot of things at this stage of the game, like the old map. The newest champion at the time was Echo, and I didn't play ranked games, but I still played with my friends a lot, pretty much every day after school. And looking back, this was pretty crazy. I was juggling my Dota 2 grind, playing League with my friends, and all the troubles that you have as a high school student, and as you can expect, I had horrible grades, at least by my standards. I got grades good enough for me to just barely pass and get into my university of choice. From 2017 to about 2022, I stopped playing League completely. It was fine. The new schedules meant that I couldn't play with the same friends who got me into the game, though I still got the occasional itch to play Veigar every now and then. And that's why this period of League's history is a huge blur to me. And then I focused all of my efforts into college life, with only the occasional ranked game until the pandemic hit. Like the rest of the world of 2020, I was stuck at home, and I completely regressed to my degenerate high school self, grinding ranked in Dota day in and day out. And in 2021, I hit my peak rank in Dota, Ancient 3. For you League players, that's the Dota equivalent of Emerald. I was just a handful of games away from being Divine or Diamond, which is where people say that the real game begins. And I just stopped. One day I just woke up and the thought of queuing up for another game of rank just made me want to turn off my computer. At the time, I didn't know why I just decided to quit ranked when I was so close to reaching Divine, but after processing it and thinking about it, I just stopped having fun. I would spend hours of my life in ranked sessions, grinding out games non-stop, trying to work with teammates who seemed to not belong to the rank they were in, only to end up with plus 25 or minus 25 after an entire afternoon of grinding. Even when I wasn't playing, I was so obsessed with getting my rank up. I was watching so many meta videos, tier lists, and analyzing pro matches, and just spending so much time trying to improve outside of the game. It even got to the point where I was playing Dota in my dreams. At some point, I hated Dota because it took so much time and I kept getting unlucky with teammates, but I couldn't stop playing because I wanted to rank up, and I felt trapped in more ways than one. Everything else in my life suffered. I stopped talking to my college friends. I was staying up until obscene hours. It was the unhealthiest I had ever been, and being stuck at home for months on end did not help at all. I had spent years grinding ranked and sacrificed so much that if I didn't get divine, what would it all have been for? It was at this point where I started to get an epiphany. I don't enjoy playing ranked. Now, I need to clarify that this is not a jab at the people who do enjoy playing ranked. If you're a ranked warrior who wants to push their own limits and see how high up the ladder they can climb, that's good. More power to you. As long as you enjoy the process and the grind, then I salute you. But I didn't. I realized I didn't enjoy having teammates who could ultimately decide the game because they refused to buy BKB. I didn't enjoy losing 70 plus minute games because the enemy had Tinker Techie Sniper and my team refused to group up earlier so we could end to avoid this exact scenario. And I didn't enjoy fighting 21-0 Morphling, Meepo, and Invoker Smurfs when I was just trying to get out of Legend. I realized that I no longer wanted to give up my sanity for a chance at a measly plus 25 MMR. I look back and I think that having a higher rank in Dota, or any online game for that matter, wouldn't change me for the better at all. I climbed from Legend to Ancient, and I didn't feel any better about myself because I knew that the only thing waiting for me at the top was even more grinding. And for what? I never aspired to be a pro player and play in front of huge crowds of people chanting my name. That was never something I wished for myself, so there was really no tangible benefit to me playing ranked. I was burnt out as all hell, but I didn't want to just stop playing Dota forever. I started playing normal games where I was just trying to play for fun. Yeah, I was still trying to win, but I didn't want to be in a serious environment anymore where I'd receive death threats from my teammates who would blame me for their own mistakes. And I was having more fun in norms than I ever did while playing ranked. I thoroughly enjoyed just playing for myself. And then I started playing turbo games, and I found I was having even more fun. Now, I know a lot of Dota purists just laugh at turbo as a game mode and say it's not real Dota, and it's not, but that doesn't mean it's not fun. One of the things that I hated about grinding ranked was that I felt that meta stifles creativity. As a player, I have always enjoyed off-meta builds, picks, and playstyles. In ranked, you can pick something off-meta and you'll immediately get people to question you. And if it doesn't work out, you're gonna get the blame. And even if it does, they'll say you're a non-factor. But in turbo, nobody cares. Okay, there are a few people that do, but they're cringe. I'm building AA with Ags with a full right-click build, and you can't stop me. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. Game's over in 20 minutes anyway. And that's part of the fun. Games are faster, so I get to play more, and I don't have to be worried about getting trapped with a tilted teammate, because before I can get mad, I'm already queuing up for the next one. Instead of playing 1 to 2 matches at the end of a long day, I'm playing 6 to 7, and every single one is just a complete slugfest. This is also the reason why I use turbo games as my B-roll footage for my videos. It's just faster to get a lot of clips, and ultimately it doesn't matter. It's just B-roll anyway. And I realized that with these no-stakes, fun, chaotic matches, it's like I'm a kid playing Dota 1 or TF2 again, where the only thing that really mattered was how much fun you were having playing the game. Yeah, you could be upset that you don't walk away with a win, but I enjoy that I don't care about winning or losing anymore, and I derive my enjoyment out of how well my crazy build works out. It was also around this time that I started playing League again, and I took that same philosophy. I don't play to win, I play for fun, and I found that League was pretty good at making you feel like you're having fun. I knew I was when I would be able to 1v9 a Z, but I did play ranked in League just enough to get the victorious skin. Ironically, it's because I stopped taking Dota and by extension League so seriously that I rediscovered my love for online games. Which brings me to a very important point. And with 6,000 hours in Dota and about a fourth of that in League, I think it's safe to say that I love these games. I know a lot of people who watch my content also have dreams of starting a channel of their own, and they look to my stuff because of how fast my channel has grown in less than 3 months. It's not being good at Dota and League that allows me to pinpoint the real differences between the games, but the love I have for them. It's what gives me the energy to examine these games so closely and make my analysis videos and do the research it takes to make the content. I love winning in these games. I love losing in them. I just love being able to play them. I don't love grinding ranked, which is why I'll never grind solo queue in either of these games, and it's also why I'll never be the guy to create content about how to gain MMR or high level guides. There's dozens of other channels out there who can help you better than I ever can. I may have never touched Divine in Dota, and I may just be a gold player in League, but I love these games as much as anyone, which is what allowed me to become the content creator you see before you today. And I don't need to be a high elo player to make great content, which I've been able to show through my videos. Does that take away some of my credibility? I don't think so. I never claimed to be a high-ranking player in either game, and if you watch the B-roll footage in any of my videos, you would know that I'm not that skilled. And that's fine. My authority doesn't come from my rank, but the sheer amount of time and love I've placed into playing these games. Ranked, like any other hobby, is a waste of time. And I just happen to find other things to waste my time on, namely recording, editing, researching, and talking about the video games that I love, and that's what it means to be a content creator. Speaking of, I'm going to be starting 3 new series in the coming weeks, so I hope you guys are ready for a lot more and better content from me. And I hope that whatever you choose to waste your time on, you enjoy every minute of it. Because time enjoyed is time well spent. And that's all for now. Ace out.